Hello and welcome to the Table. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and on today's episode of the Tuesday Table Talks, we are going to be talking about, Lord of the Rings, the set itself, some of my favorite cards in the set. I think it's a set better for Pauper Commander and not Pauper, but I still think that it's a very good set and a very fun set, and has brought two very, very powerful Pauper Commanders to the world of Pauper Commander, and two of my personal favorite, and maybe even most powerful, dual-colored Pauper Commanders. For those dual colors, I guess, is something I should specify. Not the best dual-colored Pauper Commanders ever, but for their dual-colored identities. Anyways, let's get into what I like about the set. I like the mechanics of the set. I like the Rain Tempts You mechanic. I'm considering building an actual Pauper deck around it. It might be a pain in the tush to do, but I'm going to try to do it and have fun doing it. I like that they brought back food, like as a main set mechanic. I like all of... I can't remember any other mechanics. Amass Orcs. Amass... a mechanic originally from Amonkhet or War of the Spark. One of those two. Pretty sure it was War of the Spark, actually, now that I think about it. But anyways, one of those sets brought the Amass mechanic, where basically you put a number of counters on this token, an army token you control. But if you don't control one, you create one of those tokens, which is a 0/0, then you put that many counters on it. So if you amass 2... if you don't have the token yet, you create a 0/0 token, and then you put 2 counters on it. I like that they're doing that with this set, but instead of it being a zombie army, it's an orc army, because it's Lord of the Rings. And speaking of it, kind of being a little bit changed for Lord of the Rings, I like the fact that they have all of these kind of... it's a Lord of the Rings set, so obviously they're going to have references and all this cool stuff for the Lord of the Rings set, and I just like that. I like some of the stuff that they did. Instead of having a hobbit, for example, instead of having a hobbit creature type, they changed it to halfling, because hobbits are small humans. I don't know. I thought that was cool and funny. But I like the way that they did a lot of the references to the Lord of the Rings books in this set. I thought that was really cool. I assume a lot of other people like this too, because it looks like this is going to be more a more successful set than D&D and Baldur's Gate, which have been Wizards' other attempt to kind of bring something from another universe into their own, even though D&D is something created by Wizards of the Coast. But we don't need to get into that. But with all that aside, the set I think is good. It's got some really fun mechanics. I like some of the references. I like the set as a whole. It's got some really cool cards in it. Pauper Commander reprints, I think, not specifically for Pauper Commander, for Commander, obviously, in the Commander precons, but cards in there that haven't been reprinted in a while for Pauper Commander, such as Farseek and Arcane Denial, are in there. I like that. But getting past all that kind of stuff, let's get into the Pauper Commanders I was talking about earlier on, and how they're so cool. Well, to start off, we have Prince Imrahil the Fair, who is a 1 white and 1 blue 2/2 human noble legendary creature. Sadly, it's not just any creature, and you can take more advantage of the whole Pauper Commander rule where you can play any uncommon creature. It doesn't have to just be legendary, but most of the uncommon creatures in this set are actually legendary, so it's pretty hard to do that. But anyways, Prince Imrahil the Fair, what he does, he's a 2/2 for 2, and he's a legendary creature and all that kind of whatnot. Is cool. But the thing that matters about him is what he says. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, so not just on your turn, on anybody's turn, can be relevant sometimes, you create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. What you can do is create this kind of deck where you just draw all the cards in the world, And I have a couple creatures, some that draw you cards or ramp you or whatever, but most of the creatures that are going to be in the deck, and even have a couple spells in the deck, instants and sorceries, maybe even an enchantment or two in the deck. Not sure what enchantments would do this. That would be good in the deck. But anyways, have those kinds of cards that pump your whole squad of creatures. And pretty quickly, if you keep, because Prince Imrahil costs so little, it's very easy to get his whole make creatures plan going early, and you just keep making those creatures, you keep drawing more and more cards, which allows you to draw more and more cards, which allows you to get more creatures. You play a creature or a spell that pumps your whole squad, you do that a couple of times, and your opponents are dead. And there are a couple cards in Pauper Commander that's, like, would give a permanent boost to these. Like, when this card attacks, I can't remember the name of the card, but when this card attacks, humans you control get +1/+0 until the end of turn, or +1/+1 until the end of turn. And then another one that says soldiers you control get +1/+0 until the end of turn, which the tokens created by Prince Imrahil are soldiers and humans. But that's really cool. I think that it would be a really fun deck, and it's actually going to be a deck that I play and showcase on the channel. And I personally believe that it is the most powerful blue and white Pauper Commander. In my opinion, some of you may think otherwise about certain other things, such as Soul Herder, which could be a good value card. I'm not sure if it's the best, but I don't know. I don't know which other one would be better than it. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. And then we have Strider, Ranger of the North, is another one that I really think is cool. It's 2, a red and a green for a 4/4 legendary human ranger. With landfall, when a land enters under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn, and if that creature's power is 4 or greater, it gains first strike until the end of turn. Landfall deck, red has some like discard to the draw effect, so you could still have card advantage in the deck, and green's just like land. Get all the lands in the world on the battlefield all at once, and you play big creatures, and you give them first strike with it, and like your big creature's first strike, and you attack, and it makes it really hard for your opponents to kill your big creatures through combat, which is really nice. I think it's a cool card. I think it could be a really fun red and green Pauper Commander deck to kind of build around. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Pauper Commander deck that my dad builds. But anyways, that's it for this episode, or for today's episode of the Tuesday Table Talks. Thank you for watching, everybody. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, that like button. It helps out a lot. It's completely free. You won't regret it. And for all that aside, I'll see you next time, everybody.